what is the relationship between Islamic belief and dislike of, I suppose you'd say Christians in the West, but particularly of the Jewish people?
So Islam's view is that the people of the book, which be Jews and Christians, can have a place in the Islamic State. They should surrender and live under Islamic rule. And Israel is offensive because it's a rejection of that principle. Muslims are not in charge in Israel, and it needs to be overthrown. Land once conquered should always belong to Islam. But in addition to that general view about Jews and Christians and their place under Islamic rule and dominance, the birth story of Islam, the life of Muhammad, the teachings in the Quran and the Hadiths have many highly derogatory comments about Jews. For example, there's a tradition that Muhammad told his followers, if you find a Jew, kill him, kill anyone who comes under your power. And the Jews are said in the Quran to be almost subhuman. Allah changed them into apes and pigs. They're said to be warmongering, but lacking in courage. They're said to be untrustworthy. You can't form a trustworthy pact with Jews. They are the source of all wars in the world. So what you see, and I read every day reports of sermons from the Middle East or from America or across Europe from Muslim sermons, is again and again these ideas in the Quran are injected into public discourse across the Muslim world, speeches by parliamentarians. There is a real belief that the Jews are evil, that they are treacherous, that they want to start wars, that you can't enter into peace agreements with them. This dehumanizes them, and it continually drives the war. Because if this is an enemy which is inherently warmongering and also cowardly at the same time, you've got no other choice really but than to fight them. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Jews and also people that have left Islam are really intensely disliked in the Quran and the Sunnah. I would say that the fundamental sources of Islam are hardwired for anti-Semitism. In addition to that, you have European anti-Semitism, for example, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. This has also influenced the Muslim world as well. But Islamic anti-Semitism is fundamentally not an import from Europe. It has its own characteristics and its own drivers. And yes, it's hugely influential.
The protocols, of course, have been shown to be a complete hoax. And yet the reality is that they're still trotted out, arguably even by New South Wales parliamentarians, making references to Jewish tentacles. The idea that they're everywhere, slimy, unseen, destroying the world, intent upon subjugation of everyone else. In fact, sounds a little like projection to me. I think you've used that term.
Yeah, I think the Islamic view is that Jews are weak, contemptible, warmongering, but cowardly. They love life more than death, and they won't fight if you're pushed. The European Christian tradition of anti-Semitism makes Jews out to be incredibly powerful, controlling the world, controlling America, controlling international finance. So those two kind of contradictory views that Jews are weak and contemptible and they're incredibly powerful and threatening, that's all been mushed up together in one kind of terrible mix at the present time. So yeah, it's very sad. And when people say all religions are the same, or they say religion is irrelevant, religion is not a cause, it's structural injustices or colonialization, these are the real issues in the world. These are attempts to suppress an understanding of religion, but the fact is that at its core, Islam is very anti-Semitic. Muhammad massacred a whole tribe of Jews. He took women to be his wives from the Jewish captives. There is kind of his example is very clear. In fact, radical Muslims often chant, "You remember Khaybar, and remember Khaybar. The armies of Muhammad are coming back to destroy the Jews." And this is citing an example where Muhammad attacked and defeated Jews. So yeah, this is part of the problem. It's a religious stream that Islam has never come to terms with, has never really been acknowledged properly. It's never been properly renounced, and yet it goes on. It's one thing to seek the dominance of Islam over non-Muslims, that they should be subjected and become second-class citizens. But it's another thing to have at your core a whole set of texts that declare the evil character and the weakness and the troublesome nature of the Jews.